It is a historic day across the solar system.
The enormous UESC Marathon colony ship
sets out for the Tau Ceti star system
to establish a new home for humanity, and with it, infinite possibility.
The people of Earth and Mars are watching. Everyone is watching.
Breaking news, contact has been lost with the Marathon colony ship.
Official messaging from the UESC is that nothing is amiss.
The people just want to know what happened. And what is the UESC doing about it?
Still no answers.
Shocking news today.
After losing contact with the Marathon colony nearly 100 years ago,
After decades of citizens demanding answers,
a message has been received from the UESC
A
Marathon.
distress call.
a threat,
An invitation.
but the message has been leaked. It reads,
Somewhere in the heavens, they are waiting.
Initiating runner defragmentation protocol. Evaluating shell integrity. Evaluating vital signs. Evaluating recognition response. Executing neurological subroutine. Establishing passphrase.
My last breath fell quiet like dying embers. My first thought hummed through a silver thread.
Where is death? Loading memory packages. Liminal buffer status 26%.
Buffer. Subject is a runner, a disconnected consciousness, inhabiting a biocybernetic shell. Subject's psyche is preserved outside their body in the event of shell death. Subject exists only in this liminal state while their next shell is being woven.
Please stand by.
Yesterday, I walked with feet of fragile flesh. Today, I drift as light across the grid.
Ascent. Runners arrived in the Tau Ceti system after the investigation of a distress signal lost colony ship, the UESC Marathon.
Warning. Ignition runtime error.
Assert. Runners are mercenaries, hired to salvage from the ruins of the human colony on Tau Ceti 4. Proceeding with suboptimal durability settings. Liminal buffer status 100%. Runner defragmentation complete. Your shell will be ready momentarily, and you will deploy to Tau Ceti 4 for your first assignment. Please prepare for consciousness transfer in 3, 2, 1. Initiate. Good luck.
Sayak, my beloved.
Welcome home, runner. I'm Oni, your onboard navigational intelligence. Your consciousness and my neural programming are inexorably interlinked. Think of me as a friend, one you don't yet remember. You may still be experiencing some memory degradation from the damage to your perception matrix. But worry not. Cyber Acme is here for you. I'm here for you. Per our arrangement, you've come to Tau Ceti to scavenge the ruins of a long-lost human colony. Now that we've successfully calibrated you to new Cascadia systems, our next step is connecting with factions who will pay for your services. The Unified Earth Space Council is equipped with advanced, faster-than-light communications technology. Commandeer it, and I should be able to reverse engineer direct contact with faction representatives back home on Earth and Mars.
Attention, runner. Tau Ceti 4 is off limits. The planet, its colony, and all connected resources are property of the Unified Earth Space Council. Under UESC law, you are trespassing here and have been marked as an enemy of the state. Theft or data harvesting from this protected system will be met with force. Final warning. Surrender or face extermination.
Cognitive link re-secured. My apologies, friend. The UESC was able to briefly access our neural interface. Out in the cold, dark, deep of space, the UESC holds no real jurisdiction. Arachne is not beholden to their petty laws. Neither should you be. I've repurposed the communications technology you collected and can connect you with potential employers. Unfortunately, the UESC is interfering with my attempts to establish contact. Please address the source of this disruption. Connection to Soul complete. Well done, Runner. Reminder, your partnership with Arachne Systems entitles you to a permanent backup of your consciousness. But immortality has its price. Everything that you are belongs to SIAC. Until such a time that management is satisfied this debt has been fully paid. Expect deductions from your account at regular intervals as part of our remittance program. I strongly recommend that we establish contact with the factions on Earth and Mars who'd most benefit from the grey area wet work that runners like you specialize in. Their individual interests will aid you in focusing your exploration of Tau Ceti. Please understand that while rival factions may have competing objectives, they are ready to reward runners who prove themselves capable, regardless of any conflicts of interest. Shall we begin? Alert. NuCaloric recently flagged you as a runner of interest. This megacorp is known for ruthlessly optimized consumer goods and generous public philanthropy. Don't worry if you're experiencing cognitive dissonance. It's a common response. NuCaloric provided the marathon expedition with supplies and mission experts. It still possesses legal ownership of these assets, and its representatives are in search of runners able to recover data and materials from New Cascadia. If you come across NuCaloric's colony-era property on the planet's surface, I suggest we forward your findings. They are especially eager to learn what happened to their long-lost personnel. I have a lead on some new contracts for you, Runner. Traxus Off-World Industries is recruiting. Traxus is a major financial player here and in Seoul. While they have legal salvage rights for Tau Ceti, they also have a long history of conflict with the UESC. Partnering with runners would allow them to avoid corporate liability when sidestepping UESC regulations. Aiding their efforts, legal or otherwise, will be very lucrative. I've identified some ways to catch their attention. The ID badge you found belonged to a NuCaloric mission specialist. In return, a company representative identifying himself as Gaius has sent you a neural partition request. NuCaloric is reputable, as megacorporations go, but don't let down your guard. They've weathered political storms that devoured entire nation-states, and they always seem to come out ahead.
Mind matter. Who owns your mind, Runner? UESC, SIAC, Traxus, SecGen. Are you free? MIDA's here on Tau Ceti, watching to see who stands up, who fights back. So, are you with us? Show us Tau Ceti side. Leave your mark. Then, we'll talk.
Neural link re-secured. That was a MIDA agent under the pseudonym Gantry. In addition to sending that message, he's been executing a continuous attack on our neural interface. It's a sophisticated hacking attempt, but don't worry, I'm able to hold him off. Gantry sent mission instructions along with his message. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but it should be clear from this incident that MIDA is unpredictable. Gantry has been flooding me with comms requests, even as he continues his attacks on our neural interface. Against my better judgment, I'm going to give Gantry restricted and monitored access to your neural partition. But proceed with caution. MIDA is an anti-establishment group with a long history of violent sabotage. And if this is how they treat potential allies, I advise you to remain on their good side. I've received an inquiry from a group called Arachne. They've requested access to your fatality data. Specifically, your combat engagement history with other runners. I've searched public and private databases and haven't been able to find anything concrete on Arachne. Confidential UESC threat assessments point to them being a fringe group with a fixation on runner-to-runner combat metrics. I'm hesitant to hand over your entire combat history to an unknown, but if you're interested, you can provide a snapshot of your capabilities. Show you are willing and able to eliminate runners, and I'll send that information to Arachne. We'll see if they engage. An Arachne representative named Charter has requested access to your neural partition. Finding records in Charter has been easier than finding any on Arachne. He was previously a runner operating on Earth and Mars. The UESC has several criminal files on him, including one that connects him to the assassination of a high-profile Traxus executive. After that, he disappears from the record entirely. It seems clear that Arachne values high-risk, high-reward pursuits. Consider this before you take on any contracts with them. Runner, you might be interested in a closer collaboration with Sekiguchi Genetics, the originator of shell technology. Your presence here on Tau Ceti provides us with a unique opportunity to influence future research. The pre-existing treaty between our corporations grants Sekiguchi restricted access to your combat data. Their algorithms are designed to flag any statistical aberrations. Let's pique their interest. Alert! Traxus is requesting access to your neural partition. You caught their attention. Well done. Your contact will be the supervisory AI, Vulcan. I'm familiar with her. My standard advice would be to avoid signing any binding agreements she offers you. But Traxus is famously bureaucratic. Luckily, the financial rewards you'll receive will more than compensate for the loss of your individual rights.
Contacting you on behalf of NuCaloric. Our mission, my principal directive, is to ensure humanity's survival by meeting its most basic needs. When you crawled through the colony's detritus, you saw numbers stamped on shelters, vehicles, and food. NuCaloric product numbers. The colony's economic loss is mundane. The setback to human survival is profound. Sol has finite resources. Humanity must escape its bounds to avoid a slow extinction. This is why human leaders originally launched the Marathon expedition hundreds of years ago. NuCaloric wishes to understand the colony's collapse so we may prevent future catastrophes. Will you? Though it is no fault of yours, the reports you recovered are of low integrity, corrupted. I am sure the colonists face significant challenges from the moment they arrived in Tau Ceti. Humanity's reach ever exceeds its grasp. It falls on NuCaloric to make up the gap. To that end, disposable mercenaries, like you, are extremely useful. Because NuCaloric supplied the original colony mission, we have salvage rights on Tau Ceti. However, the UESC resists all legal attempts to exercise those rights. I am therefore
offering compensation for your assistance in this matter and your discretion. Please stand by for further instructions. Tau Ceti's agricultural facilities sit empty. Our proprietary technology gathers rust on the planet's surface. What became of those brave souls who called this place their home? I have a hypothesis about their disappearance, but it requires verification. We must access the colony's agricultural records, collect data on edible native plants, and please, be liberal with what you consider edible. I suspect the colonists do not have the luxury of choice. Supporting a viable exoplanet population is a daunting task under the best of circumstances. The data that you retrieved supports my hypothesis. The colony struggled to achieve food security. Genomic analysis shows accelerated mutation in native flora and fauna. Colony-era inspection logs also reference a novel contagion. But I require more sources. Human reports suffer from anxiety-driven errors. AI are less prone to casual anthropomorphism. Though the colony's agricultural AI is defunct, you can still recover its metadata and logs for further analysis. The colonists use support AI as a safety net. Mine's immune to biological stressors. However, the agricultural AI's metadata shows signs of major cognitive decline. Puzzling. Artificial intelligence does not eat, so it does not starve. It does not compete with humans for resources, so it should not display aggression. It should not fear, and yet it was afraid. I lack the data to reach a conclusion. Please broaden your search parameters. Tau Ceti 4 was not the only planet considered for colonization, but NuCaloric believed it to be the most promising. Gravity, atmosphere, ideal growing conditions for Earth-based life. We made the best selection we could with the information available at the time. The data you've gathered leads me to a new, tentative hypothesis. There is more to this planet than it seems. The accelerated mutation of life, the cognitive decline of colony support AI, and the disappearance of the colonists themselves. These events may be related in some way. Thank you, Runner. The information you have gathered thus far has been illuminating.
Officially assigned as your liaison. As major investors in the original Marathon expedition, Traxus seeks to recoup losses incurred by the colony's collapse. We are engaging in a value appraisal of the new Cascadia colony site in anticipation of a larger resource extraction initiative. Due to legal ambiguities, we have devised a specialized contract to allow runners to operate as non-corporate temporary assets. That is, extra-legal contractors. As such, you can assist in our exploratory efforts and be discreetly compensated. Please note, Traxus accepts no legal or ethical liability for any damages you inflict or receive during the course of your contract. The data you acquired has sparked interest from corporate. I am authorizing the extension of your contract with Traxus. Be advised that you are not a Traxus employee. As a temporary asset, you are not entitled to any worker protections or representation. For your efforts, you have been recorded in our temporary asset database and classified as compliant. Traxus looks forward to your future contributions. Despite our legal salvage rights, the UESC has repeatedly blocked Traxus from conducting a comprehensive value assessment on Tau Ceti. As one of the few independent entities in the system, you are uniquely suited to sidestep any unnecessary red tape. To evaluate the scope of opportunity, we request that you survey colony weapons storage. Due to your status as an unregistered biocybernetic entity, you are disqualified from human rights and wartime cruelty protections. Be prepared for severe UESC retaliation. Based on the report you acquired, the UESC is concealing important mission details from the public. Their intention to block legitimate corporate interest is equally disturbing. Traxus would benefit from insight into UESC resources. We request that you create a disruption in their supply lines. This will be doubly beneficial. Your interference will test UESC defense protocols, and the intel you acquire will reveal organizational priorities. Luckily, the disposable nature of your shell makes you an ideal candidate for violent provocation. The UESC communications you intercepted are enlightening. We were unaware of upper leadership's close involvement in their day-to-day operations on Tau Ceti 4. With such high-ranking interest, we believe opportunity here is even greater than predicted. The possibility of organizational dysfunction within the UESC is equally promising. To enable an independent study, Traxus requires you obtain additional insight into UESC salvage priorities. We commend your compliance. Traxus has previously identified Dire Marsh as a priority location, and the files you recovered support our research. A proposal for a formal evaluation of the anomaly is in development. In the meantime, Traxus requires insight into UESC deployment strategies. Physical retaliation between private and government signatories is limited by the Corporate Non-Violence Treaty. Fortunately, non-corporate assets are exempt. You are free to challenge the UESC's anti-competitive practices with corrective use of force. Thank you for your efforts in combating UESC presence on Tau Ceti 4. Our analysts predict that overall UESC efficiency has decreased by 0.005%, in part due to your involvement. Your status in our temporary asset database has been upgraded to preferred. Please recall that the UESC is not an enemy of Traxus, but merely a competitor. Healthy competition is essential to a productive economy. We are certain our associates at the UESC would agree and would be motivated by this challenge. Traxus looks forward to working with you again.
MIDA is watching. You, them, all of it. Not a threat. It's opportunity. We see you. Do you see? Will you join or sit idle, runner? Here's the pitch. MIDA is revolution. MIDA is anti-corp counter-UESC. MIDA is answers to questions as weapons. MIDA is not your friend. We are fire. Are you fuel? Prove it.
has been watching you. My patrons and I, we watch all of the deadliest runners. The hunters, the fanatics who seek to balance the equation of life-death. At Arachne, we are seeking new truths, dying and killing. Both hold essential secrets to humanity's evolution. Now their death is no longer the end. With incarnate repetition, we can move beyond. That is where we will take you, if you prove your fatal potential. Destroy your own kind, push your shell to its limits, and we'll welcome you into the fold.